So, something I came across a lot over the years is one of the things that so called intellectuals and people who write about people um, from all different kinds of backgrounds, whether it be politics, business, whatever, when they start to tell you that this is how people are, or they start talking about human nature, oftentimes they do it based on an ideology, or they'll do it based on their own empirical, research or firsthand experience, and they find that there's a lot of patterns that people do tend to have. What the problem is that have a they don't have a philosophic background, an appropriate philosophic background before that. So, it's based on something already that's not rational, or we're not applying that human beings, our human nature are more dynamic. We do have human nature does change over time, and that there is a self-development process that people go through. And I'm not talking about just psychological development that people tend to go through, through their life cycle, but rather, something that a person can do right now, or within months, and practice their ability to focus better, for example. That kind of thing isn't included. So, you know, one of the common things is that men tend not to have good social skills compared to women, and women are emotional and not rational. That's based on empirical experience, and everybody experiences this firsthand. But it's not going what's before that, and that is something like impulse control, for example. You can learn to control your impulses better, and a woman doesn't have to not be able, like, a woman can think logically. I mean, you see women scheme and you know do this stuff where they kind of scheme against other people, but of course that's a kind of an extreme example. Women are capable of being engineers. I'm not suggesting that women should get more rights than men do, as you see in the current feminist movement, which I strongly oppose. But men don't have to be socially awkward. Men can be just as good, or if not better than women are, as far as dealing with people. So just because you see tendencies, that doesn't mean that people can't develop themselves and be better. It doesn't mean that that you know just because you get a group of people that have a tendency, it doesn't mean that there aren't exceptions. It doesn't mean that take for example Muhammad Ali, who, although I think he had an IQ of 78, he still worked very hard. He was still creative and poetic, and he was still successful. So, and he was able to achieve happiness. So, anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Across the board, people that make assumptions on human nature, you have to really take it with a grain of salt, and you have to critically examine where that person is coming from, and draw your own conclusions.